On July 16, 1945, in the New Mexico desert, a blinding flash lit the pre-dawn sky. The first atomic bomb had been successfully detonated. One of the scientists who watched, J. Robert Oppenheimer, recalled a line from Hindu scripture, "I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." 3 weeks later, 2 atomic bombs destroyed the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The Second World War was over. The nuclear age had begun. The Manhattan Project had its origins in fear. In 1939, physicists Albert Einstein and Leo Szilard wrote to President Franklin Roosevelt warning that Nazi Germany might be developing an atomic weapon. The letter triggered a slow-moving American research program. After Pearl Harbor, the program was dramatically accelerated. In August 1942, the Army Corps of Engineers took control of what became the Manhattan Engineer District, the Manhattan Project. General Leslie Groves was appointed military director. He selected J. Robert Oppenheimer, a theoretical physicist at Berkeley, as scientific director. The choice was controversial. Oppenheimer had left-wing associations that troubled Army intelligence, but Groves judged him irreplaceable. Oppenheimer assembled the greatest concentration of scientific talent in history at a secret laboratory in Los Alamos, New Mexico. The project was vast. At its peak, it employed 130,000 people across dozens of facilities. Oak Ridge, Tennessee produced enriched uranium. Hanford, Washington produced plutonium. Los Alamos designed and assembled the weapons. The vast majority of the workers had no idea what they were building. Security was absolute. The project cost $2 billion, equivalent to over $30 billion today. 2 bomb designs were developed simultaneously. The uranium bomb, called Little Boy, used a simple gun-type mechanism. The plutonium bomb, called Fat Man, required a complex implosion design. The Trinity test on July 16 tested the implosion device. It worked beyond expectation. The yield was equivalent to 20,000 tons of TNT. Oppenheimer's reaction was one of awe and dread in equal measure. On August 6, a B-29 bomber named Enola Gay dropped Little Boy on Hiroshima. The bomb exploded 600 meters above the city center. Approximately 70,000 people died instantly. By the end of 1945, the death toll had reached 140,000. 3 days later, Fat Man was dropped on Nagasaki. Around 80,000 people died. On August 15, Emperor Hirohito announced Japan's surrender. The ethical legacy of the Manhattan Project has never been resolved. The bombings ended the war and almost certainly prevented an Allied invasion of Japan that would have cost hundreds of thousands of lives on both sides. But they also established nuclear weapons as instruments of war and inaugurated the arms race that brought the world to the brink of annihilation during the Cold War. The scientists who built the bomb were not all at peace with what they had done. Many devoted the rest of their lives to nuclear disarmament. Oppenheimer himself was stripped of his security clearance in 1954 during the McCarthy era, accused of communist sympathies he had never acted on. He died in 1967, his reputation only partially restored. He was formally exonerated by the U.S. government in 2022, 55 years after his death. The Manhattan Project produced the most destructive weapons ever used in warfare. It also produced the science that powers nuclear energy, medicine, and much of modern physics. The knowledge it generated cannot be unmade. The challenge of living with it, of preventing its use while harnessing its benefits, remains the defining challenge of the modern age.